If this video found you today, take it as a message meant for you. Stop comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. Stop holding your real, unedited life up against a perfectly framed, carefully lit 15-second moment. You don't see the whole of anyone. You see fragments, reflections, surfaces. You see a smile without the silence that came before it. You see a result without the 1,000 invisible attempts that built it. Somewhere right now you might be looking at a screen, quietly asking yourself, why am I not there yet? Why don't I look like that? Why does my life feel so behind? That small, painful question is not a flaw in your character. It is part of a very human pattern. Psychology calls this social comparison. When we don't have clear ways to measure ourselves, we turn to other people and use them as a mirror. We look sideways to understand who we are, what we're worth, how far we've come. We don't simply exist, we measure. This measuring is not always harmful. We learn, we grow, we find motivation by watching those a little ahead of us. But somewhere along the way, especially in the age of social media, comparison stopped being a mirror and became a weapon we quietly turn against ourselves. You open an app, and within seconds you are surrounded by highlight reels. Vacations, promotions, flawless skin, beautiful rooms, perfect couples. You see after photos with no trace of the before. And slowly, your mind begins to whisper that everyone is doing better than you. But you are not seeing everyone. You are seeing what they chose to show. You are seeing the brightest frames of their story, and you are comparing those frames to the entire film of your own life. Your behind the scenes is raw, messy, unfinished. Their highlight reel is edited, filtered, selected. Behind the scenes is the take that didn't work, the script that had to be rewritten, the tears after the door closed. Highlight reel is the premiere, the red carpet, the perfect line delivered at the perfect moment. You live with every scene of your story. You only see the posters of theirs. Social comparison theory explains that we most often compare ourselves to people who feel similar to us. Same age, same field, same city, same stage of life. That is why a friend's success can hurt more than a stranger's. It feels like proof that you should already be there. But that feeling forgets something essential. You do not share the same script. You do not share the same starting point, the same wounds, the same responsibilities, the same invisible weight. There is no universal schedule you are failing to meet. Your life is not a smooth montage. It is a series of scenes, some beautifully composed, some dimly lit, some almost too dark to see. There are long stretches where nothing seems to move on the surface, but everything is shifting inside you. The audience might grow impatient there. Life does not. Across time, philosophers and thinkers have pointed to the same truth. What shapes a human life is not the moment of applause, but the long, quiet process that leads there. The Stoics taught us to focus on what is within our control, not the reactions of others, not the timelines of others, but our own choices, our own responses, our own path. In a world obsessed with results, this can sound wrong. We are trained to believe that value lives in outcomes. The salary, the number, the trophy, the followers. But think of your favorite films. What stays with you is not just the ending. It is the struggle, the transformation, the moments when the character could have walked away but didn't. Outcome is a snapshot. Process is the full story. Outcome is the photograph of the summit. Process is the blisters, the missteps, the storms, the doubts along the way. Right now, you may feel stuck in the middle of the movie. No grand music, no big reveal, just routine, effort, and uncertainty. It is tempting to think that if your life mattered, it wouldn't feel like this. That if you were truly capable, you would be further along. But the truth is often the opposite. The middle is where character is built. The middle is where discipline, patience, and self-respect are learned. The middle is where you decide who you are when nothing impressive is happening. The middle is where the process quietly shapes you into someone who can carry the ending when it arrives. Process over outcome does not mean outcomes don't matter. It means they are not the whole meaning. The value of your life cannot be compressed into a single achievement, relationship, or number. The way you live each day holds more truth than any single moment anyone else sees. When you compare your process to someone else's outcome, you are comparing different categories of reality. You are comparing the workshop to the showroom. You are comparing paint on your hands to a finished painting behind glass. Of course it feels unequal. It was never meant to be measured that way. Looking upward at those you believe are above you can inspire or wound. It inspires when it says growth is possible. It wounds when it says you are proof that you are not enough. The facts don't change. The meaning you give them does. What if you shifted that meaning? What if other people became reminders of what humans can become, not verdicts on your worth? Not standards you must copy, but evidence that progress in any form deserves respect. Not judges of your story, but fellow travelers on different paths. Because here is another truth. Someone somewhere is looking at you right now and wishing they had what you have. They may see your kindness, your resilience, your creativity, your ability to keep going. They may see a strength in you that you have stopped seeing in yourself. When you reduce yourself to what you don't have yet, you erase entire chapters of strength that already exist. You erase the mornings you got up when it hurt. You erase the nights you stayed kind when you could have become bitter. You erase the courage it took to admit you were struggling and still continue. Highlight reels rarely show that courage. They don't show the lost jobs, the broken friendships, the health scares, the family pressure, the private grief. They don't show how many times someone almost quit. They don't show how lonely success can feel when old wounds are still healing. You live inside your behind the scenes. You know how heavy some days are. You know what it cost you just to be here, breathing, trying again. That knowledge matters. Do not discard it because someone else's life looks clean inside a square frame. Imagine this like a film scene, a quiet room. No dramatic music, just your breath, your hands moving, your heart beating as you try one more time. To the outside world, it looks like nothing. To your story, it is everything. Every great film has scenes that look small on the surface but are enormous inside. The moment someone chooses forgiveness, the moment they get up off the floor, the moment they decide to stay, to leave, to be honest. Those moments rarely become highlights, but they are the foundation beneath every highlight. They are inner victories no one applauds, yet without them there would be nothing to celebrate later. Your life is full of these moments. You may not name them yet, but they are shaping you. So when comparison comes, and it will, try a gentle shift. Instead of asking why they are there and you are still here, ask what this season is teaching you. Ask who you are becoming as you walk through this part of the story. Comparison is human instinct, but you are not its prisoner. You can notice it, breathe, and return to your values, your pace, your path. You can celebrate others without abandoning yourself. You can say good for them and still allow yourself to grow slowly in your own way. Your worth is not a race. It is not a scoreboard. It does not rise and fall every time someone else succeeds. Your worth simply is. From that place, goals become healthier. They stop being attempts to prove you matter. They become expressions of who you already are and who you are becoming. And yes, you are allowed to want more. Better work, deeper love, calmer days, stronger health. Wanting more does not mean you are ungrateful. It means you are alive. Just let your desire be guided by your own inner compass, not by someone else's shine. Ask yourself what matters to you when no one is watching. Ask what kind of person you want to be in the quiet scenes, not just the big moments. Life is not a competition of trailers. It is a long unfolding story of growth. And that growth happens in the process, not at the finish line. Before we close, I want to leave you with 3 simple things. First, if this video found you today, take it as a message meant for you. Not by accident, not by chance, but because something in you was ready to hear it. Second, if this space feels safe, grounding, or familiar to your soul, you're welcome to stay. Subscribe this channel, not out of obligation, but as a quiet agreement to keep returning to your inner alignment. And third, this is your mantra. Let it settle into your body. I am already whole. I'm already complete. I am not lacking. I am not chasing. I am enough right now. Repeat it gently, as often as you need. Nothing is missing. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be. Thank you for being here. Until next time, stay aligned.